I want to switch over to UFC 281. Adesanya lost spectacularly. What did you make of that? I mean, it was spectacular in the sense that the first round he seemed to have it. The second round he seemed to be on his back foot, and the third round then it was anyone could get it.
Well, I thought,
and in the last 2 minutes, he gets a punch and he completely staggers and he never recovers. That seems to me as something you would use the adjective spectacular for.
Quite unfortunate, and I would draw comparisons or similarities with the loss of Kamaru Usman as well. Totally in control of the fight, only to lose out in the last round. UFC is a very difficult sport, and if you listen to what Pereira's corner were telling him, they told him, look, you've lost the second, third, and fourth round. I think Pereira probably took the first round, with the exception of the latter part of the first round. The only way you can win this fight is to knock him out. And I thought that, Israel could have been a lot more cautious and tactful in approaching the fifth round. But if you've lost to somebody twice previously, you want to go in there and prove upon that, look, I can actually beat this guy. And I think there was probably a little element of complacency in the way Israel approached the fight. And of course, a lot of criticism has gone about some of his fights being boring. But you see, in this sport and at this level, all you need is to win. How you win is not important.
Adesanya is famously nicknamed the last style bender. He's a love for anime, and he has made himself almost invincible in the sport. And to your point about him having lost to this Alex Pereira before, the fact is that was when they were both kickboxers.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Do you think maybe Adesanya's notion was that things have changed? I am a much better fighter than we used to be.
Yes, he's probably a much better fighter now. But if you watch that fight, it was not a proper all-round UFC fight.
Okay.
It was almost like a proper kickboxing fight.
True.
Because that is what the two fighters are known for.
Yeah.
And that is more or less their comfort zone. Pereira got his first takedown in UFC on that night. Adesanya did that. So you have to understand that, look, when you're fighting other fighters, there's a comfort zone for the two fighters when they converge, and I think that's what happened.
So it sounds to me like you're saying that these two fighters, knowing each other so well, they brought out the kickboxers in each other.
And they more or less seem to stay, because there were chances for Israel to put the guy down via submission.
So would you say that next time around, if he can get a rematch, that he should be looking for a more well-rounded approach rather than let himself drag down onto Pereira's level of comfort?
A rematch would be tougher for Israel because he will now be coming from a position of weakness. But for him to win, he has to present a proper, well-rounded, all-round game plan to be able to beat this guy. They call the guy the hand of stone. When he's faced with you, just look at the combinations that he put together to win the fight. Israel needs to get to a point where he needs to avoid taking those punches. I guess in this fight he felt, look, I need to show the world that I can beat this guy. Forget about what the guy can do and what he's done so far. I think this is the guy's 5th fight in MMA, in the UFC. So it's unfortunate that Nigeria has 0 belts now.
When it comes to sports, the competitive nature of it, sometimes you come up against a team, an athlete who just has your number.
Exactly.
You said that it would be more difficult for him to get a rematch because...
He will get a rematch.
No, to win the rematch, I should say, because he will be coming from a position of weakness. Do you think in that sense, he should perhaps take the long way back to the belt?
No, he won't take the long... It's set in stone. It favors UFC to always have rematches in place. That is what will sell than skipping the previous champion and now taking somebody who's probably rated number 2 to come and take a title shot. No, they won't probably they won't get as much attention doing that. So a rematch now, maybe in a few months, maybe by March next year or thereabout, they can put a rematch together and they will make a whole lot of money from that.
Now that we know what we know, those who might have put their money on Adesanya to win might have said, you know what, once upon a time they were both kickboxers and he beat Adesanya, but times have changed. Adesanya is an undisputed in the game. This is who I'm putting my money on. But now we've seen that old tricks have been replayed, and like the Wile E. Coyote, he has fallen for it again. So going forward, net rematch. Where's your money?
Maybe I'm not the right person to ask this question because I share the same surname with Israel. So my allegiance is very clear.
Don't worry, I'll bring someone else on the show to counter whatever you said.
But I'll always be for Israel. I think that loss was quite unfortunate. I think he can pick himself up and get back that belt because hey, prior to this, he's cleaned out his entire middleweight class, and I think that he can still find his way back to the top.
All right. Thank you so much, Adeyemi Adesanya.
My pleasure.
A pleasure having you on the show. I think we could talk about UFC for much longer, and I definitely will bring you back on the show when that rematch happens. My name is Mikhail Tinubu. Thank you for watching Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. It's been a beautiful Monday morning. Hope you have a beautiful rest of the day. Remember, life is never boring with some sports.